What if I told you that one of the most harmful myths in nursing is also one of the most celebrated? It sounds like this. Oh, I'm fine. I got it. I don't need any help. We call it strength. We praise it and we reward it. But in reality, it's silent suffering dressed up as professionalism, and it's costing us everything. Today, I'm breaking down the myth of the self sufficient nurse and why it's hurting not just individual nurses, but it's hurting the entire future of the nursing profession. Hey there, my name's Teresa Sanderson. I'm the founder of Nurses Feed Their Young, a movement dedicated to transforming nursing culture from one where we eat our young to one where we feed our young. And today's video is for every nurse who's been told that asking for help makes you look weak, needy, or less competent. We're going to dismantle that belief and show you why support is actually one of the most powerful forms of leadership we have. Let's get to it and dive in now. You know, from our earliest clinical days, many of us are taught this. Strong nurses don't need help. They just get it done. And that belief gets reinforced over and over and over again. When you're praised for staying late without a complaint, when you're encouraged to just push through instead of speaking up, and when you're told, oh, everybody feels that way at first, you're going to get used to it. When support is treated like a luxury and not a right. So what do we learn? We learn that needing help means that we're somehow not cut out for nursing, that asking questions makes us look incompetent, and that struggling means we're failing. But here's the truth. That mindset doesn't make us at all more professional. It makes us instead more isolated, more burned out, and more at risk for mistakes. The myth of a self-sufficient nurse is not a badge of honor. It's a warning sign that we keep ignoring, because when we glorify the nurse who never asks for help, we shame the one who does. And that creates a culture where suffering and silence becomes the norm and reaching out becomes a risk. But what if we reframe that entire conversation? In every leadership model, corporate, education, even healthcare administration, collaboration is expected. Support systems are seen as essential. Leaders don't operate alone. They delegate, they build teams, they create infrastructure so that work is shared, not just shouldered by one person until they break. So why is nursing still clinging to this culture of silence? Support is not weakness. It's emotional intelligence, knowing when you're at capacity. It's self-awareness, understanding your limits and honoring them. It's strategic delegation, trusting your team to share the load. It's patient safety, recognizing that exhausted nurses make errors, and asking for help is not a failure. It's a clinical decision. It's a decision that says patient safety matters. Team sustainability matters. I matter. And that's what real nursing leadership looks like. Not the nurse who does it all alone, but the nurse who builds a culture where nobody has to. When support is seen as optional, or worse, as a weakness, here's what we lose. Nurses quit because they feel isolated and unsupported. Patient care suffers, right, due to avoidable errors made by exhausted nurses. New grads burn out within their first 2 years and leave the profession entirely. Mid-career nurses internalize failure instead of reaching for community or asking for what they need. And we call that professionalism. It's not because we're weak. It's because we were never supposed to do this alone. Nursing is a team sport. It always has been. And when the team culture becomes toxic, when asking for help is met with judgment or silence, it isolates the very people it was meant to protect. Hyper-independence is not a virtue. It's a trauma response. We've mistaken suffering for strength, and that has got to stop. So what does support-centered nurse leadership actually look like? It looks like saying, I don't have capacity for that right now, without guilt or an apology. It looks like debriefing hard shifts with peers as a standard practice, not just after a crisis. It looks like being part of a space where asking for support is expected and not the exception. It looks like leaders who ask, what do you need? Instead of, are you okay? Inside Thriving Nurse Network, that's exactly what we're building. It's not a forum for venting. It's not a corporate wellness talk, and it's not toxic positivity. It's a space for real reflection, sustainable strategy, and connection with other nurses who are navigating the same questions you are. This is where clarity grows and leadership is redefined, where you don't have to perform, where your uncertainty isn't seen as a flaw, and where asking for help is celebrated, not judged, because we know this truth. The nurses most likely to stay are the ones most supported. So if you've been holding it all together because you thought that was the right thing to do, if you've been questioning your future in silence, if you've been leading without being led, giving without being given to, supporting others while slowly running your own well dry, you're not alone. And you don't have to do this by yourself. And asking for help doesn't make you less. It makes you wise. And that's why we created Thriving Nurse Network, a place where support is a professional standard, not a sign of weakness, no pressure, no judgment, just nurses supporting nurses as we build careers that actually work for our lives. You can find the link in the comments below, and I hope you'll click it and join us. The next time somebody praises you for being so independent, ask yourself this: am I being supported, or am I just surviving? Because true nurse leadership doesn't mean carrying everything alone. It means building something where no one has to. So if this message resonated with you, I invite you to click the like button, subscribe to our page so you never miss a beat, and drop a comment, because we've got a lot more coming for you on redefining the strengths of leadership and what it actually means to thrive in nursing. And I want you to remember this: you don't have to leave nursing to thrive. We're building something better. I'll see you next time. Bye.